Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan. I have 8 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations, internal security, and in-depth analysis of Hindu editorials and articles. And this video is in regards to how to crack prelims 2020. But prior to that, you have a notification which is in regards to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, which is India's largest learning platform. Once you get subscribed, you will have access to unlimited live and recorded courses from India's best educators. You also have the live classes, the privileges of having live classes, the live testing quizzes, structured courses, unlimited access, and also you have the top educators at Unacademy, wherein you can see it on your screen. And also these are all the top educators wherein you can also view them on your screen. And these are the courses in the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, that is Polity, Geography, Current Affairs, and UPSC CSE batches, and various others which you can also once again have a glance at them on your screens. And these are the other courses even in Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, that is Governance, Indian Society, Social Issues, Interview Preparation, and others which are also part of your courses in regards to UPSC CSE, which you can see it on your screen. And in regards to the subscription, you have 12-month subscription and also 24-month subscription, wherein 12-month subscription the original price is 40,000 and 24-month subscription the original price is 48,000. And you can go ahead with subscribing with using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10, wherein you will get 10% discount on 48,000 and the discounted amount would be 43,200. And in here you have an added advantage that you will be actually paying for 13 months, that is 12 plus 1 month, 40 plus 8,000, but you would be getting the privilege having the subscription for the entire 24 months. So you have the opportunity, or take the, or else make sure that you grab the opportunity of just paying for 13 months, and you are only paying for 13 months. You are paying for only 13 months, but you are having the subscription for 24 months. Please do take the maximum benefit of it by using my code SBT10, and then you will get a discount, and the discount would be 43,000. And then it's always recommended that for the civil services preparation, it is always required that 24 months of preparation, solid preparation is required, and then you go ahead with subscribing for 24 months. But as I said, that you will be paying for the 13 months. So if you haven't gone ahead with subscribing the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, please go ahead with subscribing the 24 months, and also please let your friends also know in regards to the opportunity or the privilege what they have in just making sure that they will pay only for 13 months, but they will have the subscription for 24 months. Now we'll get into the topic, that is the in-depth analysis of the Hindu newspaper, that is editorials and articles. So it is very important that in these articles or in my sessions I would be focusing on the in-depth analysis. So this is in regards to the in-depth analysis of the editorials and articles, and the reason why, why we have to go ahead with the in-depth analysis is very important. Why? Because many of them feel that civil servant aspirants, is it really necessary that we have to go ahead with editorials and articles? Yes, definitely it would be a time consuming. It would definitely be a time consuming if you are reading the editorials and articles and all that. So it will definitely, what do you say, it will consume somewhere not less than 3 to 4 hours for you. So what I would do is I would make sure that which is a very important articles or the editorials which will be useful for the prelims and also for the mains. I will look at it from the factual and also in regards to the analytical point of view. I would analyze that, and I would go ahead with the factual and analytical in regards to identifying the keywords. So what is important is, while you are reading or while you are understanding, it is very important that you need to focus on the keywords or the key phrases. So this is very important while you are preparing for the civil services. Keywords and the key phrases are very important, that you need to identify them in your editorials articles, or also in the normal what you say contemporary issues or any current issues item, news item which will be in the newspaper. You need to identify the keywords and then the key phrases. These are the one which will be very useful, wherein the UPSC will be focusing on these keywords and the key phrases, which they would be concentrating identifying the keywords and the key phrases, and again linking it with the factual and analytical point of view, and then provide or frame questions in the prelims and also mains. So it is very important in regards to the better understanding or thorough understanding of the newspaper is very important. So thereby my discussion or my video will be definitely helping out, but when you might feel that whether it is required or not, it is really required for a civil servant aspirant who is seriously preparing for, and then who are preparing for at least 2 years. At least 2 years, it is very important that the in-depth analysis of the Hindu newspaper is very important, because you will have a thorough understanding. What is important is a better and a thorough understanding of all the topics. I'm not just talking about the Hindu newspaper, but you will be understanding a thorough understanding in all the newspapers, which will be very important. And now I will get into the next, the actual one, the topics to be discussed, that is the Indian diaspora in GCC. This is very important, and the political detention. And then I would say good evening to everyone. Hi to everyone, or good evening to everyone. Malvika, Sampath, Nikhila, Harini, Nityalaya. Harini, are you for the first time? And MSD JNR. Is it Masood Junior, or like what's your name? MSD Junior. Super sir. Please continue to do this. I will always be waiting for your analysis. Very good. Have you given your attempt, MSD Junior? And Harini, is it today? I mean, today is it first class? No, why I'm asking is both of you, that I would, because my wavelength will be in regards to the better understanding in films and then mains point of view, like factual and analytical point of view. That is why I'm asking, so that wherever you have any doubts, you can let me know, so that I will halt there, have a pause, and then make sure that I will make you understand everything also. Fine. Now I'll get to the what is it, today's editorial, which talks about the across the Gulf. So here it is talking about the Gulf. So it is this is in regards to the GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council countries, GCC countries. So this editorial is in regards to the GCC countries, which is again in regards to the GCC. When we are talking about it, is talking about the Indians who are stranded in the West Asia. Indians who are stranded. Indians in the sense that we are talking about the migrant workers, or else workers. We can make it as workers or migrant workers who have been part. Who have been part of Indian diaspora. Who have been part of Indian diaspora. Who are working in the West Asia, in the GCC countries or GCC countries. So that is what the editorial is all about, and the editorial is talking about the number of diaspora who are being in, or who are in the GCC countries. It could be like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, or Oman, UAE. So all these countries wherein our Oman, wherein Indians have been there, and then they have been as a migrant workers. Migrant in the one sense, in the sense like in the search of works, livelihood. We can use this word livelihood. In the search of livelihood, they have gone to the countries, GCC countries, and then in turn they are working there, and then they are also sending the money. That is in regards to the remittances. They are also sending the money in the form of remittances towards to India. So this is very important. So we have to make sure that we protect the diaspora who are in. We protect the diaspora. It is very important that we need to protect the diaspora who are in the GCC countries. And now these diaspora who are in the GCC countries are the one who have been badly hit because of the COVID-19. Because of the COVID-19, that is a pandemic COVID-19, they have been badly hit. And then because of the oil prices, slash in the oil prices. I have also told this once again. Already once I have told this, because of the oil prices, because slash, and because of the pandemic situation, COVID-19 pandemic, that the situation is very clear, that it is in regards to making that the India or Indian government protects the diaspora in the GCC countries who are there in the GCC countries, and making sure that we also protect them. If possible, we have to get back them to India. Now the point is whether we have to, can we get them back is very important. Get them back is very important, because at this situation, when the virus is spreading very violent in the West Asia or else even in the GCC countries, now whether it is required to get them back, if we get them back, then how we can handle them is also important. Handle in the sense like we need to put them in the quarantine. We have to put them in the quarantine for or quarantine camps. We have to put them in the quarantine camps, making sure that they have been detected, and then later on they have been, what is it, tested, and then they have been, their treatment also should be given to them. And this is a procedure what we need to actually follow. And then what the editorials, and then how it is all linking to the civil services examination point of view, now we will discuss. So when you look at this, that is the Indian diaspora. So the focus is Indian diaspora. What is diaspora? Diaspora are the Indians. They are the Indians who are in GCC countries. So they call as Indian diaspora. That means Indians living in the Gulf Cooperation Council. So if you look at the Indians who are in the GCC, it is around 8 million people. So here it is very clear as per the data, 8 million Indians are living in the GCC countries. And this is a very big amount of chunk, or else it's a group, very big or unique. It's a unique group among Indian diaspora, which is spread across the world. So look at this. If you look at the Indian diaspora, when you compare the Indian diaspora across the world and then compare the Indian diaspora with GCC, it is having a major chunk of the Indian diaspora who are in the Gulf cooperation countries. So when we are talking of the Gulf cooperation countries, which are the countries? So again, this, when we are talking of GCC countries, this is very important for the prelims point of view. This is very important for prelims point of view, because they might ask which among the following countries are not part of the GCC, or else this could be in the map based question. Map based question in geography. Map based question in the geography. So here we have the Saudi Arabia, Bahrain is here, and then Qatar, which you call the capital city Doha, and then you have UAE, Oman, and then Kuwait. And this is Iran, Iraq, fine. And this is, you have this as Israel. You have again, this is Yemen. This is Yemen. So this is very important in regards to the geography map based of view. So when we come back to the again the editorial, so this is what, when we are talking about the 8 million people are in the Indians are in the Gulf Cooperation Council. So when we are talking about the 8 million people, then we will also look at whether they are totally skilled or they are semi-skilled. Now when we try to again segregate it in regards to the factual or facts, in regards to facts of Indian diaspora in GCC. So that means 50% are unskilled and 30% are semi-skilled. So here it is very important for prelims point of view. Again, we need to understand what is that, at least for the basic understanding. 50% are skilled or unskilled, and then if you look at 30% are semi-skilled. So this is very important. And only a small minority, so that is, if we take total, this 50 plus 30 is 80, and then this is 20, only a small percentage, that is a minority, that is 20% is a skilled employee. So we have the segregation: unskilled, and then semi-skilled, and then skilled. Please understand. So unskilled is the 50%, semi-skilled is the 30%, and then skilled is only the 20%, which constitutes the entire Indian diaspora in the GCC. And these are the 20% who are in a very good jobs. They are in the the good jobs. Okay, Arini has posted, no sir, I watch your lessons in Karthik Ayan account. Today I'm watching from a different account. Okay, Karthik Ayan. Okay. I'll be attending UPSC in 2024. Okay, no problem. It's Harini, definitely this will help you. I mean, 2020, women almost 4 years early itself we have started. So this will definitely, I mean, my lectures, my video will definitely help you in regards to how best you can try to get into the conceptual point of understanding. So that will definitely help you. Or when you have these kind of preparations, I mean, I bet you can clear prelims in the first attempt. In the first attempt itself, you can clear. I bet, provided you have what you said thorough. I mean, analysis point of view. If you have, then you can clear the prelims. And then all the best that you have started that almost 4 years. I mean, 3 years in advance, and fourth year you will be giving the exam. All the best to you also. I mean, Reni. And then when we look at this unskilled, semi-skilled, and skilled employees, it is that only 20% are there. And this, but when you look at the focusing on the migrant workers, because I was talking about the migrant workers here. Here I was talking about the migrant workers. So this is very important because the focus of the editorial is in regards to the migrant workers. Definitely, I will daily come up with the videos, and that too it will be regards to the editorials and analysis, which will be a comprehensive understanding. Which will be a comprehensive understanding. And then, if you look at these migrant workers, they are actually the backbone of India's ties with the GCC region, because these are the migrant workers who are actually working in GCC, and then as I've said, they are providing or they are sending India money through in the form of remittances. They are sending back the money, whatever they save there, they are sending back in the form of remittances. Not only they are sending back money to India, but what is happening is these migrant workers, when they are working when they are working in the GCC countries, these all Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, and then Qatar and Bahrain and Kuwait, they're also what you say being part of the system. They're also being part of the system in the GCC countries. So definitely they are also being being provided jobs, but at the same time they are being part of the human resource in GCC countries. So definitely even the GCC is getting the laborers, migrant workers, which are really necessary even for the GCC countries. So at the same time they are getting the job, they are being paid, they are having income, they are saving there, and those savings are again coming back to India in the form of remittances. And this is very very important. And these migrant workers are actually creating a better ties. These migrant workers are creating better ties with the GCC countries, or better ties with the GCC countries. So that is what is important here when we are focusing in regards to the better understanding between India and the GCC. That is the ties. What ties are we talking about? The bilateral ties. That is the relation between India and GCC countries, wherein they are who is the bridge between both India and GCC? The migrant workers are the bridge. Migrant workers are the bridge. Wherein they are getting job there and also sending the remittances back home. And in regards to the contribution, I did talk about the remittances. So this is remittances. Remittances means the money which is coming back to India, whatever they have saved there in their respective countries of the GCC. That money is coming back to India, and that money is coming back to India, and that is constituting around 40% of the foreign exchange. Please do understand, this is forex, you call it as foreign exchange. So what is the foreign exchange now? It is almost close to 400 plus, or 480, 490, 485, somewhere around million US dollars. So almost close to 500 million US dollars our foreign exchange reserves are there. So that the contribution is major contribution is from the Indian diaspora, which is from the GCC countries. So this is what is very important in regards to the kind of GCC, I mean the kind of Indians or the Indian diaspora who are sending money back to India in the form of the foreign exchange remittances. So this is very important. Foreign exchange remittances, they are coming back to India, and this is very very important in regards to the Indian economy. Why I was saying is this is a foreign exchange reserves. You call it as forex reserves. So foreign exchange reserves are also very important. Whenever there is a dire need of situation, then we use this foreign exchange reserves, or we convert into the Indian currency. We convert into Indian currency, and we can use it the foreign exchange reserves. So what the reserves what we have in regards to foreign exchange is because of the remittances which is being sent by the Indian diaspora in the form of remittances, and that is really playing a vital role for the Indian economy. That is really playing a vital role for the Indian economy. And whatever their labor, that is the amount of work they are doing, the migrant laborers, it is also what is contributing to the GCC economy. That is also very important. Not that just they are sending remittances back to India, that is in the form of money, but they are also what being part of the economy of the GCC. So this Indian diaspora they're sending money to India in the form of remittances. At the same time, they are also being part of the, working there as a migrant workers to the GCC countries. They're also helping the GCC economy to also flourish, to increase. So it is what the migrant workers or the Indian diaspora are really helping both the countries here, GCC countries and also India, in the form of remittances they are sending back. And if you look now, we will come to the other side of it. Is not just money. There is, when we were just looking at the economy point of view or economic point of view, now we will look at the health point of view. What is that health point of view? Now we will look at is that the majority of the Indians who are as migrant workers in the GCC countries are tested positive. This is a cause of concern. Please do understand. Till now we were talking all nice, which was the money which was coming to India, but those people who were sending money back to India, whatever they have saved in the form of what is a foreign exchange, these are foreign exchange remittances, is 40%. 40% is a very big amount, very big percentage in regards to the foreign exchange remittances to India. But what is happening now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen the majority of Indians have tested positive because of the COVID infection abroad, and they are located in the Gulf countries. And the Gulf countries are the one who have been badly hit. The Indians who are in the Gulf countries have been tested positive because of the COVID-19. What are the reasons? There are various reasons. Because when I have said that they are migrant workers, when I said they are the migrant workers, that means the living condition. Please do understand, there are various reasons. When we look at this editorial, this article, when you get into the in-depth analysis, there are various reasons, and those various reasons will actually help you in trying to eliminate a question in the prelims. And then when we are looking here, living condition is very important, because when they are migrants, the living conditions of the migrants would be very, very poor. So because when the living conditions are poor, definitely social distancing will not be taken into consideration. When social distancing is not being taken into consideration, then infection do take place. The infection of the SARS-CoV-2 will definitely take place. Once the SARS-CoV-2 infection takes place, then they are prone to COVID-19. That means they are infected by SARS-CoV-2. That is the virus. And once they are infected, then definitely they are tested positive. So that is a cause of concern. Now, even though they have been helping the economy of the GCC, sending money back to India in the form of remittances, but when we look at the condition now, many of them have been tested positive, and this is a cause of concern because of the condition they are living, the living conditions. And out of if you look at the statistics there are 336 Indians who have been spread across 53 countries. Across, we are not just talking about GCC, we are talking about all the Indians who have been working across various countries, that is taking into consideration of 53 countries, who have been tested positive. Many of them coronavirus, because of the SARS-CoV-2. 25 Indians have died. So what is important, what we are looking at is here the Indian diaspora. So it is the Indian diaspora which is that we need to focus. Just a minute. We need to focus on the Indian diaspora, which is actually being hit very badly because of the COVID-19 or the SARS-CoV-2. It is the responsibility of the government to make sure that they will also focus not only just on the remittances, but also making sure that their lives are protected, and their lives should also be protected. And that is very important. When you are talking about their lives should also be protected, then it is a duty bond of the government to make sure that they will be protected. And in regards to all this, the 25 Indians have died. So that is a cause of concern. And when we are looking at the United Arab Emirates, because if you look at this, you have Saudi Arabia here, you have UAE, you have Oman here, you have Qatar, capital city Doha, Bahrain, Kuwait. So when we are talking about, now we are talking about this is in regards to UAE. So UAE is among 54 countries where India is supplying antimalarial drug hydroxychloroquine, because India is going ahead with supplying the hydroxychloroquine. So hydroxychloroquine is an antimalarial drug wherein it is being India is supplying to various countries, and India is supplying for almost 54 countries, and UAE is part of it. UAE is amongst the 54 countries wherein India is supplying the hydroxychloroquine. This here we are going out with the information because the kind of relations what India has with the Gulf countries. We are talking about the kind of bilateral relations, the kind of bilateral relations or diplomatic relations what India possesses with the GCC countries in focusing in regards to the UAE. In focusing in regards to UAE, we are talking, and then here we are bringing the point of hydroxychloroquine, because we have seen that even the US was wanting, US President Donald Trump was wanting the hydroxychloroquine. When India said that we have gone ahead with a blanket ban on the hydroxychloroquine, then he has said that we wanted that because, or else we will go ahead with the retaliatory measures. US said that if you're not sending us the hydroxychloroquine, then we will go ahead with the retaliatory measure. That means some kind of sanctions will be imposed on India. So immediately India has again sent back the lot to the US, I mean hydroxychloroquine. And in turn, what we have seen in yesterday, that US has come up with going ahead with the sale of two missiles, to India. So definitely there is something, what you say, an understanding or some win-win situation between US and India. So that is what the relations, what now at this situation we are maintaining that the relations should have been better, and it is better. And then if you look at this, if you are, I mean UAE also is also wanting the hydroxychloroquine antimalarial drug to make sure that it will be useful for the infected patients of the SARS-CoV-2. And if you look at, we have seen this data that is in regards to 3,336 Indians, and out of this 2061 are in Kuwait. Please look at this is 3,336 Indians wherein we were talking about they are, what you say, in 53 countries, and out of this if you look at 261 are from the GCC: Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, UAE, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. That means they are from the GCC countries. How many? 2061 are from the GCC countries. So that is what the kind of Indians who are working in the GCC, and then they are also contributing to the economy of the GCC. And if you look at the other side of it is, I mean, if you look at, again I'll go back to the previous page. If you look at this, I was talking about Iran here, Iran and then Iraq. Fine. So it is the neighboring countries of the GCC. When it is neighboring countries of GCC, even the data in regards to the Iran, if you look at the Indians who are in Iran, that is 308 people have been affected. Indians who are in Iran also have been affected. So we are looking at the entire concept of the India and GCC. Look at this today's, I mean what we are discussing today's what is the topic is in regards to India and GCC. First we have spoken about in regards to the remittances, fine, and now we are talking about the COVID-19. So we are focusing both on, on the economic front. Please do understand how we are discussing it, and then we are focusing on the health front. This is what is very important when you are, what you say, when you are reading it or analyzing it, and then when you are listening to my class also, I would repeatedly say that which areas we are covering, and from one area to other area linking is very important, analysis is important, because first we have gone ahead with the what is the economy, and now we are talking about the one who has been infected not only in the GCC but also taking into the West Asian countries, that is Iran. So if you look at, okay, who is this top M? Top M, please, can I know your name? Top M. Can I know your name, Top M? Because you have keyed in saying that, hello TSB sir. No, just like, I mean, so if we just move away from the Gulf countries, And the other countries, I mean, other countries wherein Indians are there. Okay, Malesh is there. Fine, Malesh. Then we are today discussing about the topic. It is in regards to India and GCC, that is India and Gulf Cooperation Council countries, wherein the relation between both the India and then GCC countries, how it is in regards to the remittances, and then in regards to the COVID. That is what I was talking about in regards to the economic front and also in regards to the health front. So, taking into consideration from both the fronts, how the Indian or else Indian government is maintaining the bilateral relations or the diplomatic relations from, I mean, from India's point of view towards the GCC countries. When we are talking about GCC countries, it is all the, what do you say, the rest of the countries or the part of the GCC countries, that is Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, UAE, Bahrain, and also Saudi Arabia. So these are the countries wherein India is definitely having a very good relations, and in turn India is also maintaining a very good relations in regards to Iran, even though there is a lot of difference or disturbances between US and Iran. In spite of that, India is definitely trying to maintain good relations with Iran, making sure that it is also importing crude oil from Iran. Importing crude oil from Iran. So now we will move from little bit from the Gulf nations. So if you look at the Indians who are in the other countries apart from the GCC, so I would also say a very big hi to Malaysia. So this is in regards to the, apart from the Gulf countries, if you look at the Indians who have been affected because of the COVID-19, that is because of the pandemic or SARS-CoV-2, that is, we look at focus at Singapore, there are 634 Indians, and then in Italy 91, and in Malaysia 37, Portugal 36, Ghana, that is in Africa, 29, and even in US we have 24 Indians, Switzerland 15 Indians, and France 13 Indians. And this is because we have looked at this only because of the factual point. Only because of the factual point we have looked at the numbers, but these numbers will not be given in the prelims. I'm making it very clear, this will not be part of the prelims, but we are for the better understanding. For better understanding, we have looked at the Gulf nation and also the Indian diaspora who are in the various countries. It could be from, what you say, Southeast Asian countries. So when we are talking here, like, we have to focus the what do you say, the geographical areas, that is Southeast Asian countries. When we are saying Southeast Asian countries, it is a Singapore and then Malaysia. And then again when we are talking about Europe, then we will look at in Italy, France, and then Switzerland and Portugal. And then when we are talking about, what you say, US, and then Africa, it is Ghana. So here we are trying to segregate it, that how, I mean, Indian diaspora, how Indian diaspora are spread across various countries or across the globe. So we have seen that they are being part of the GCC, they are part of the Southeast Asian countries, they are part of Middle East, they are part of Middle East, they are also in the West Asian countries, so they are also in the African countries, that is African Union, they are also in the Europe countries. So this is what is important when we are talking about the Indian diaspora, how they are spread, because it is the Indian diaspora which sends, or which what do you say, puts brings back the remittances back to India. And now we will look at the challenges. Prior to these challenges, what we did we, what all we have focused is that we have looked at the Indian diaspora in GCC, Indian diaspora in GCC. So there we were talking about the migrant workers. We spoke about skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled. Fine. And then later on we spoke about the remittances, how the remittances are coming back to India. Not only that, later on we spoke about the death cases, that is in regards to the health, the COVID-19, what are the death cases, and that we have looked at. And now we will look at the challenges. So please do try to understand this order, how we are actually going ahead and what are the challenges now. The vast challenge, or the majority of the people who are living in the what is the GCC countries are, as I have said, that they are the from the migrant workers. Okay, there is one question by Malesh. What he says is, what is the situation in Kerala state regarding COVID? How they control, sir? They reduce positive cases to maybe one. Okay, if you look at the, okay, I'll just what do you say? Before I take up the challenge, I would address to the what Malaysia has come up, that is asking about the Kerala. I mean, how, okay, no doubt we were talking about India and then GCC, but because of the benefit of the Malaysia, I would just go ahead with this. In regards to Kerala, if you look at, Kerala has gone ahead with the social distancing, fine. They have also gone ahead with more of testing. Testing has been taken up more, and also in regards to the, if you look at a new concept is coming up, that is plasma theory. Plasma theory. So this plasma theory also, I'm extremely sorry, for plasma therapy. So this plasma therapy is also in regards to only the ICMR, that is Indian Council for Medical Research, has given permission only to Kerala to go ahead with the plasma therapy. Though there is no other state in India which is going ahead with the plasma therapy, and only Kerala has been given the permission by the ICMR to go ahead with the plasma theory. That means it is very clear that the health infrastructure of Kerala is very high comparatively to other states in India, is comparatively to other states in India. Why is that Kerala is comparatively, what is it, doing better in regards to handling or containing the spread of virus or trying to break the spread of virus? Because of the measures we have discussed, because of the social distancing, more of testing, and also they have this, what do you say, the frontline workers. The frontline workers, when we are talking of the frontline workers, they are all the nurses or the doctors who are all, what do you say, on the run to protect the infected people or infected persons. So here when we are talking about this, the Kerala is the one which is going ahead with this, and then it is Kerala. We know that even from the Kerala we have many migrants who have been migrated to the GCC also. I will also I mean explain in one of the uh, slide that how Kerala chief minister is also has also wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of India. So in regards to plasma theory, okay, okay, Harini Nityala is asking about plasma theory. Okay, fine. Probably I'm just getting diverted, but no doubt I will go ahead with that. I will go ahead with that. Okay, for the benefit of the civil servant aspirants or the viewers, I will go ahead with the plasma theory. Give me 5 to 10 seconds. I'll go ahead. Nityalaya, Harini, please give me 5 to 10 seconds. And because Malaysia has put forward this point in regards to Kerala, and then plasma theory has come into existence, but very well, I would thank Malaysia that you have brought in a point, and then it is also been very useful because Harini also has raised the point that how it is in regards to the plasma theory. Please explain, she was saying. So, for the benefit of everyone, I would also thank Malesh for raising that point of plasma therapy. So this is actually, the plasma therapy has been it was taken up by the China. When China was the epicenter, we have seen that China has also come up with the plasma therapy. It has used plasma therapy on 10 patients, that is 10 COVID patients. It has used on the 10 COVID patients, and then they have found the positive results. They have found not positive cases. I'm not talking of the cases. I'm talking about the result was positive. Result was positive. So what kind of result and how we will look at. So when we are talking about the plasma theory, plasma therapy, extremely sorry. When we are talking about the plasma theory, what happens is here, before I go to the plasma theory, I would first talk about how, I mean, where, I mean, how to, where is actually plasma? I mean, plasma is where, I mean, in regards to what I would explain. So you have blood. I mean, everyone has it. Blood. So what happens is, the constituents of the blood. I'm talking about the constituents. That means what are the parts of the blood. So you have plasma, you have RBC, you have WBC. Fine. So I mean constituents part of the blood. You have these three. So when I'm talking about these three, that means this plasma is almost close to 50% of the blood. Fine. So this is in yellow color, yellow fluid. This is in yellow fluid. Fine. And then the rest is RBC and WBC. The major part is the again between them the major part is the RBC and the next is WBC. So all these are important. But what is happening in regards to the plasma theory is that the plasma is being segregated from the blood. This plasma is segregated. It's separated from the blood. Please do understand. When I'm saying segregated, this plasma is separated from the blood. So when the plasma is separated, why they are separating? Because they wanted to make sure that they from this plasma they wanted to separate from this plasma they wanted to separate the antibodies. Please do understand. So this therapy is nothing but separating the antibodies from the plasma. Again plasma is separated or it is separated from the blood. Please do understand this. And this antibodies when they are separated from the plasma, this I mean this plasma, this blood when we are talking about this blood, whose blood is this? This is what we need to understand. This is the blood of the recovered COVID patient, or I'll write here. The blood is of the blood of the recovered patient. It is the blood of the recovered patient. They take the blood of the recovered patient, and then that blood, I mean the one who have actually fallen ill, this patient was actually infected. Please do understand this. This patient was infected by SARS-CoV-2. This patient was infected by SARS-CoV-2. Was infected by SARS-CoV-2. And again, when this infected person was treated, then this person has recovered. Please do understand. First and foremost, this person was infected person, but later on when this infected person was treated and then recovered, that means this person has recovered. The one who has already, who was a patient, infected one, treated and then recovered. So the blood is, this blood what we are talking about is collected from the recovered patient. Please do understand. Collected from the SARS recovered patient, and from that blood the plasma is taken, and from this plasma the antibodies are separated. From this plasma of the recovered patient, the antibodies are taken out, and these antibodies are transfused. What do you mean by transfused? They are injected into the severely ill patient of SARS-CoV-2. Severely ill patient, that is who are on ventilators, almost on ventilators, who are on the ventilators, who are been affected by the SARS-CoV-2. The ill patients who are affected by the SARS-CoV-2, in those patients' blood, these antibodies are transfused. These antibodies are taken from the plasma. This plasma is segregated or separated from the blood, and this blood is from the recovered patient, and this blood is from the recovered patient of the SARS-CoV-2. Now what is important, what we need to look at is the antibodies which are being taken up from the recovered. These antibodies will fight with the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Please do understand. These antibodies will fight with the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and it will mean it is nothing but antibodies versus antigens. When we are talking here antigens are the SARS-CoV-2. antigens are SARS-CoV-2. So this is done. This is called plasma theory, and in this process there is chance that this is going ahead with in regards to the patients have been shown positive result, but still this is still going under kind of research. Only it's a kind of research, and this research which is going on in regards to the plasma theory is being taken up, or the permission is given by the ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, only to state Kerala, and that is why what Malaysia has asked that what Malaysia has asked is that because in regards to the how Kerala is handling the situation. And now we'll come to this challenges. Yes, yeah, because what is the challenge is that many of them are working in a very badly hit disease. I mean, the living and working conditions are very difficult, and they are not able to maintain any kind of social distancing, and the treatment, whatever, if they are affected by any diseases, the treatment is also not really happening to them. I mean, to the migrant workers who are in the GCC. And the challenges we are talking about, challenges because how they are being infected because of the SARS-CoV-2, that is because of the living and working condition, which is very bad, extremely difficult, and they're not maintaining the social distancing. Thereby what is happening is that the disease is being spread very virulent. And now in regards to even various medical conditions also, or medical, if they wanted, they are being actually taken from, or they have been procured from India. So that is a condition of the migrant workers in GCC. So that is the biggest challenge what the Indian diaspora or the migrant workers who are facing in GCC, that is the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. And then if you look at the various sectors, that is the various sectors of the economy are also shed because of the pandemic or the COVID-19, and now they are all jobless. And once they are all jobless, it is that many of the people or these migrant workers, look at the condition of these people, they are like very dilapidated condition. Their living and working condition is very bad. That is why they are all, look at this, there is no social distancing, and that is why they would be infected very badly. And then because of the highly infected, what will happen is, and these people who have been into GCC countries to work there as migrant workers, many of them now they are, or thousands of them are without the documentation. I mean, without proper documentation, they have entered into GCC. Now it will be very tough for them to be there, or else get the government medical treatment, because they may not get the government medical treatment. Which government are we talking about? The GCC. The GCC, whichever country they are in, whether it could be Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, or UAE, or Kuwait, all these countries, wherever they are, they will not get any kind of grants, or from the medical treatment from the government side, because they are all not having any documentation. And that is the biggest challenge to the Indian diaspora who are in the GCC. And what is the way forward now? Way forward in the sense, what are the measures now what we can go ahead? Because we have looked at first the migrant workers, we have looked at the skilled, semi-skilled, and then we have looked at the unskilled, and then we have looked at the what is that they are they are sending, that is the remittances money. And then we have looked at the health condition, that is in regards to the COVID-19, how many deaths are being taken up in the GCC countries. And later on we have looked at the challenges, and now we are looking at the measures. See, look at the order, the chronology. You please try to understand. When you are able to understand the chronology, how we are looking at this entire article, then you will have a better understanding about the entire situation between India and then the GCC countries. So you can write an answer in regards to India and GCC countries in its diplomatic or bilateral relations. So thereby now we are coming at with the measures of the way forward, how the situation in regards to the death, that is the COVID-19 or infected persons, how they are being there, and how best we can make sure that they are being helped by the Indian government. So what India can do is, or India cannot abandon in the sense, they cannot keep them there itself, or India cannot go ahead with leaving them in a helpless fate. So India cannot leave them in the situation what they are going ahead now. And Indian government has to work very closely with all the GCC countries and make sure that India provides definitely a support to them. Because they, as I said, that they were supporting our remittances. That means they were supporting the foreign exchange, India's foreign exchange. So this foreign exchange, what when I was talking about the entire foreign exchange, what they were sending or supporting was 40% of the entire foreign exchange of India. So definitely it is the duty of the government of India that we will not abandon them, we will not leave them helplessly, but the government has to work closely with the respective governments of the GCC countries, and then we have to provide definitely some kind of support what we can do it at this moment. And what is important is now the UAE government, part of the GCC countries, UAE government has said that they will go ahead with revising the labor relations. So they will revise the labor relations between India and the United Arab Emirates, that is UAE government, and then they will revise or they will change the labor relations with whom? With the nations who are refusing to cooperate the measures to repatriate. So what do you mean by repatriate? So definitely now we were talking about the migrant workers, that is Indians. Now because of the COVID-19 or because of the pandemic situation, what is happening is that many of the Indians are now repatriated, that means deported, or they are sending them back. And if the countries who do not accept their particular citizens to get back to their own countries, for example India, if India is not accepting the migrant workers or the Indian diaspora from the UAE, then what the UAE says is they will go ahead with revising, or they will come up with a new labor relations or labor laws, wherein once the labor laws come, then they will definitely repatriate, or they will force them, they will ask them to move out, and then the situation will be helpless. Then the situation will be helpless for the Indians or the Indian diaspora who are in the GCC countries. So what is important is that India has to make sure that they have to look at this, or look at the what the UAE government is saying, and then we have to make sure that we help the Indian diaspora who are, or the migrant workers who are working in the United Arab Emirates. And then the country's ambassador, that is of India, Ahmed Hel Bana, has also promised that only those who have been tested negative virus will be repatriated. That means who are tested positive will be kept in the UAE itself. They will not be sent to travel to India, but the one who has been tested negative, only those people will be sent back to India. So it is very clearly been mentioned by the country's ambassador, that is UAE ambassador to India, that is Ahmed Hel Bana, who has promised that they will definitely take care of the people who are negative or who have been tested positive. They will give the treatment, making sure that they are quarantined, and then they would be given the treatment will be definitely given to them, but only the one who have been negative or who are not infected, they will be repatriated. That means they will be sent back to India. And what Malesh was talking about this Kerala, now I will come to that point now. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has wrote a letter to the Indian Prime Minister, that is to the Modi, in regards to what he has wrote a letter that he is expressing the concern, he is expressing the worry of what the health related issues of the Indian workers. So in his letter he has clearly mentioned about the concerns or the problems what the Indian workers are facing in the Gulf region, what the Indian workers are facing the health related issues in the Gulf region. So that is what is mentioned in the letter written by the Pinarayi Vijayan to the Modi. He is not only talking about that, but he is also talking about the well-being of Indian diaspora. Look at it, being a chief minister of a state, he is concerned about the relations. He is concerned about the India's relations with the UAE, or Saudi Arabia, when it is in regards to the Dubai. That is, he is concerned about India's relations with Saudi Arabia. Look at it, the way he is. I mean, being a chief minister is worried about the diaspora, because we know many of the Keralites also work in the GCC countries, because they are all working as a nurses. Many of them nurses are also in regards to the various organizations. It could be skilled workers or unskilled workers. They are working there. So that is why Kerala is also worried about it. And what Malaysia has asked is that it is in regards to the testing what is going ahead, that they are going ahead with the aggressive testing, and the Kerala health minister, the minister, the madam, is going ahead with a very stricter measures and very innovative measures to make sure that the spread of virus do not take place, or else the community transmission will not take place. The community transmission will not place. So what is important is the third stage, that is the community transmission should not take place. So they are worried, and they are also strictly following that the community transmission should not take place. And in regards to the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, we know that he mentions, or he has traveled across many countries right from 2014 to almost 2019, and he has maintained very good relations with many countries across the world, across the continents. He has maintained good relations with all the leaders, all the rulers of the region. So if you look at again in regards to GCC, yes, definitely he has what is a very good relations with all the other countries or the rulers of the GCC countries. But what is important, or the testing time now, is that during this crisis, whatever he has good relations earlier to the COVID-19, or COVID-19 pandemic is different, and now after the COVID-19 pandemic, the relations between India and the other countries is different, because now every country wanted to take care about the health, or the health of their own citizens. So making into, or getting into that position, what is important is that how the Indian ties with the GCC is strong, endurance is strong, is a question mark. So the same kind of relation has to be maintained now, making sure that the Indian diaspora, the Indian migrants working in the GCC countries, will be protected, as said by UAE, that the one who have been tested negative will be sent back, the one who have been tested positive will be kept back in GCC, or the negative will be sent back to India. So this has to be, what do you say, in coordination with the Prime Minister of India, with External Affairs Ministry. They have to make sure that they have the proper coordination. And in regards to the coordination, they have set up a control room, that is COVID-19 control room, and this control room will make sure that it acts as a nodal body or nodal agency, which deals with the, or it has what is a contacts with the Indians and their families living abroad. The one is Indians who are here and their families, with their families, and the one who are living abroad, they will have a contacts, and that will happen through the control room. That is a specially one created or set up, that is a COVID-19 control room, wherein all the migrant workers who are being affected by the pandemic SARS-CoV-2 will be taken care by the Ministry of External Affairs, making sure that the Indian diaspora is protected in the GCC countries. And the center also should make, or should take an initiative, that all the state governments should come together. That is what, if you look at the previous slide, here the Kerala Chief Minister has written a letter to the Prime Minister of India. The Chief Minister is writing a letter to the Prime Minister. Look at it. This is a very good move and a positive move in the Indian federalism, or Indian cooperative federalism, or India's parliamentary form of government. If you look at, or India's, what do you say, India having a union of states with a strong center, India with a union of state with a strong center. If you look at, CM is writing a letter to the PM that we need to take care of the well-being of the Indian workers who are living in the Gulf region, and also especially in the Dubai. So this is again very important measure. The center must take an initiative. So here the responsibility of the owners lies with the central government, that they have to take an initiative, that they talk or they work with the state governments. They talk or they work with the state governments, that they have an arrangement with the national governments, that whatever the situation or the position of the Indian workers in GCC countries or abroad or any other countries, we have to make sure that we resolve the issue, accept it, and then resolve the issue. So that is very, very important in regards to the way forward or the measures. Now I will just, before getting into the conclusion, I will look at, or again I will look at what all we have discussed. So here we have discussed about what is actually the migrant workers have been stranded in the GCC countries and also in the West Asian countries, and then we have looked at the Indian diaspora in the GCC, and how many skilled, unskilled workers are there, how many skilled, unskilled, and then semi-skilled workers are there. And then we have also looked at the 8 million people. This count is important for prelims point of view. 8 million people in the Gulf GCC countries. And we have also looked at this 40% of the entire foreign exchange country, remittances into India comes from the GCC. and we have also looked at the UAE, what relations we have now, not just in regards to economy and remittances, but India also provides the anti-malaria drug, that is hydroxychloroquine, to UAE. And then we have seen the entire total Indians, that is 3,336 Indians across 53 countries who have been tested positive, not the one who are across the country, across various other countries. It is not just 333 Indians. This data is only in regards to who have been tested positive in regards to the COVID-19. Please do understand, this count, this number is only in regards to the COVID-19 patients being tested, and out of this 2061 are just from the GCC. And not only that, we have also looked at the Indians in the Southeast Asian countries, and also in the Europe, and also in the African Union we have seen, and also in the UK, US, that how many Indians have been affected by the COVID-19. And then we have looked at the challenges. What are the challenges? Because they are working in a very what is a badly hit, that is that their living and working conditions are very bad. Because of that, social distancing is not maintained. Because of that, there is always prone for infected, and when they are infected, their living medical conditions is also not good. And then many a times those people are getting the medicines from India, they are procuring from India, and this is having a lot of impact on the economy. And then because of the infected or COVID-19, because of the total lockdown, what is happening is many thousands of people who are stranded there are there without any job. So now it is very important that India has to make sure that they support them, talk to the respective governments, and then even with the UAE government, to make sure that the one who have been repatriated should be repatriated, and then who have been tested positive will be kept there, and the one who have been tested negative will be sent back to India. And we also seen that Pinarayi Vijayan writing a letter to the Prime Minister of India, talking about or discussing about the health or the Indian health conditions about the Indian workers in the Gulf region, and also about the well-being of the Indian diaspora in the Saudi Arabia. Not only that, the way the Indian Prime Minister has very good relations with the GCC countries, and also this is Mohammed bin Sultan of the Saudi Arabia, and how we need to make sure that we try to handle the situation, making sure that we get back the one who are stranded, the stranded in the sense who are what do you say left, who are in GCC countries, that the government has to again have the coordination with the state governments, and then make sure that along with the state and the central governments coming together will work for the expatriation of the Indian diaspora. And now the conclusion in regards to this is, India must do everything to bring these people whose search for livelihood has done the country so much good. So here what is important is, India should focus on those people who have searched for their livelihoods. Please understand here, India must focus on those people, the people who have searched for their livelihoods, fine, and because of whatever they have searched for their livelihood, they have got the job, they have they got salary, that is income. From them income they have saved, and from that savings they have sent back to India the remittances. So when we are talking of the remittances, yes, they have done India a lot. They have done so much good to the India. So when they have done so much good to India, it is the need of the hour for the government to go ahead with supporting the Indian diaspora who are left in the GCC countries. So this is all about the today's editorial in regards to the across the Gulf. So look at editorial. If we look at and read, you will just read it. You can just read it for 15 minutes and then keep it aside. But what is important is how you would pick up various issues which will be part of the prelims questions, and also from the mains point of view. Here we have discussed extensively in regards to the prelims, extensively in regards to the mains. So any question if it is asked in regards to India and GCC countries, now you are totally equipped with the entire information, and then you are ready to go ahead with writing an answer in regards to mains, and also any kind of question if it is asked, analytical or factual question, even in the prelims in regards to the India and the Gulf, then you are able to write the answers. So I hope this session was very, very important and useful for you all, making sure that you have better knowledge in regards to the prelims and then mains point of view. And I hope that I would definitely come up with the a better and intensive or thorough understanding or analysis of the various editorials the next class. And then I hope you have all really liked this. Yeah. Malvika Sajivan, I've just seen that AK Shaileja is the one who is the who is the health minister of Kerala. And I would thank everyone, and then please go ahead with liking the video, subscribe the video, and then hit the bell button when you're watching the video in regards to the when you're watching the video in the YouTube, that is Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. If you haven't subscribed to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, please go ahead with subscribing for 24 months using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10, because you will get 10% discount on the subscription for 24 months, because you would be just paying for the 13 months amount, but you would have the access of subscription for the 24 months. And what is important, or one more notification, what I would wish to tell you is that please go ahead with downloading the app, that is in regards to the Unacademy app, Unacademy Learners app, Unacademy Learners app. Unacademy Learners app. So what is the benefit if you download the Unacademy Learners app? Because when you download, you can have access to the Unacademy special classes. You can have access to the Unacademy special classes. So make sure that you download the app and also be part of the, as you are watching, as you can view the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English of the Unacademy in the YouTube. The same way you can go ahead with also going ahead with the special classes of the Unacademy once you download the Unacademy Learners app. So make sure that you go ahead with it, and then I hope it was a very valuable session for you all. And then thank you everyone, and thank you Malesh for raising a point in regards to the COVID-19. And then Top M, okay, I'll just read once the comment by Top M. Top M, in Kerala only COVID-19 first case recorded whole India. Okay, no doubt. Okay, your point is like the first case in regards to the India is the which was recorded in the Kerala, but definitely the Kerala government along with the health ministry combined together have made a very good impact in trying to restrict this spread of the virus. That is very important. What is important is the containing of the virus, or the breaking the chain of the virus is very important, and that they have taken it very, very positively. Malvika, you have been asking on this. Definitely I will. The only problem is because daily going ahead with the analysis of the editorials and then articles, I am really hooked up with the, or maximum time is totally hooked up with these editorials and articles, and then taking the special classes and also the plus classes in the Unacademy platform. I'm totally engrossed in that, but definitely I'll make sure that. Okay, Harini is also talking about what is that political detention, sir. Okay, I will also take up that topic in regards to political detention, that is in regards to the Public Safety Act. It is in regards to the Public Safety Act. It is especially in regards to the Jammu and Kashmir. It is in regards to Jammu and Kashmir, wherein the three former chief ministers were put under house arrest by invoking the Public Safety Act. So I will discuss at length. Don't worry, I will discuss at length. Because of the time constraint, I could not, but definitely I will discuss. And then thank you very much, everyone who have been part of this session. Thank you very much. And then see you tomorrow at 4 p.m.